Right, folks, we move on. On Sunday, the Gleaner posted an article titled Lost in Lockup. 16 lawsuits in 2 months as hundreds flock human rights groups over alleged police abuse. To help us put this news item into perspective, we have human rights activist Judith Weatherburn and attorney at law Clyde Williams. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Morning.
Blessed love.
I said on air recently, because of ZOSO and state of emergency, that if it makes a difference, if it helps with our crime and violence, I have no issue if them stop me on every corner. I don't want to be abused, don't get me wrong, but I have no issue. And then, to continue with that, I read where the Prime Minister said, yeah, some of us might be put out because of what's going on. Is this what we're talking about, Judith? Let me start with you. Or are these specific things that...
So, Neville, when they stop you on the corner, you're a nice brown gentleman, and they know you're from TVJ, they're not going to do you a thing.
Okay.
They're going to say, go on, boss. Are you the youth who are scraped up in Zozo or during a state of emergency don't get that kind of a treatment? And what is hurtful is that it happens all the time. This is not a one occasion thing. It's just that the Zozo, it's concentrated, so they're concentrated all their efforts and their resources in a particular area. Now, it may be that intelligence says yes, and these lanes, we know that there are members of X, Y, and Z gang, but that does not give them the right to abuse Jamaican citizens, young men, in this way. If they're going to have to pull people off the road, the system must be in place that ensures that their rights are honored and respected.
Okay, just before Empress Clyde, what do you mean by abuse in this instance?
Well, in this instance, I think we're speaking to the privacy rights you have, the liberty rights you have, that each of us will have. This is something that is systemic in Jamaica. This is not a ZOZO or SO, state of emergency issue. I started practicing in 1996, and I've had to do cases where police detain, arrest and detain, no charge, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. If you do not have any resources as a member of a family to retain a lawyer urgently so that you can make an application for the police to come to the court and say why they have you in custody, dog, nyam your supper.
And that's the abuse you're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about. Dog, nyam your supper. And let me say this. If I'm in my house and I get a call at 12 o'clock that I need to be at the police station, I go, why? A day in custody in Jamaica can cost you your life. So I don't play with it. I respond aggressively, not in an aggressive manner, but I respond like that one time. I have been doing this since 1996, and I'm doing one. I just did one in Christmas. Let me just arrest the youth, put him in lockup, don't charge him. Family come to me about 3 days after. I go, file the papers, might have been a Thursday, I think it was. File the papers on the Thursday, took it myself to the police station, had it served. When I went back to the court, the police turned up and said, they plan to do it next week, Tuesday, to charge him. I'm serious, it's a Thursday. They plan to charge him next week, Tuesday. They didn't come with any papers or anything. So I said to the court, ma'am, I'm here for the entire day if I need to be here for the entire day. Whereupon the police left and came back and all kinds of nonsense. And then the court set it for the next morning, Friday morning. And we got the application. By then they charged him, so we made a bail application. This idea of arresting persons without charging and keeping them detention has been going on for a long time. And people get lost because you don't have a family member who go to a lawyer and say, then my brother. So you get lost in custody.
In custody. I want to just, for the purpose of education, what are our rights as a Jamaican citizen, a poor Jamaican citizen, a rich Jamaican citizen? What is illegal when we're looking at some of these cases where illegally detained, the abuse, the torture, the different stories that we're hearing coming out of the system? What are our rights and what is illegal when it comes to police operations that we're observing?
Well, as Clyde just said, scraping you off the road with no reason for arrest. That's the first thing.
That's illegal.
Right?
It is illegal.
Yes, and then if you're detained now, there's another level of illegality, abusive behavior when your rights, your personal safety is abused. as the article said, and I trust what JFJ writes, I have no reason to disbelieve at all.
It's Jamaicans
so they
for Justice,
list,
just so those listening.
so they list all the physical, sexual, and other kinds of abuses that are thrown at these young men. And they come from certain addresses. Let us be very clear about that.
So you're saying the poor Jamaicans, less justice, are more vulnerable to abuse?
Big time.
I've had experiences. Cause you know when me up on road, we just got you. When I got you like lawyer, I got you. So me up on my yard when I used to live near to where Mr. Ellington, former Commissioner of Police Ellington. So swing on this road, Mr. Ellington is there, and then dead end is a dead end and another big policeman. So me go up on the ends and just a cool out. So me I come back home, come back down the road.
Walking.
Walking. Now a little shots and a little, but me just got through. But me might have been about 8 o'clock. A car is coming up, the lights get killed, and then me get a beam. And I'm serious, I'm not exaggerating. A policeman jumps out and backs his weapon. I'm serious. I said, boy, don't move. I've done enough criminal cases to know what to do. I said, Jesus Christ, officer, no shoot me. Because I need my neighbors now to start hearing. And run down upon me. And I'm serious, I'm not exaggerating. Him grab me up in my waist. As a big man. Grab me up in my waist. But me know the road is coming on dead. So I just relax. I go in a relaxed lawyer mode. Not telling him about lawyer, and I just relax. I just say, easy, youth. And I say, officer, what? He say, where you live? I say, down the road. He say, where you hiding? I say, I only come for a walk. He say, come. And he haul me up. Where God give me my feeling, I'm throw to him haul me up. And we go down on my yard and I'm calling my neighbors. And as so comes now, everything just settle off. That was my first experience, because I got through upon road as a youth. Just the other day in the state of emergency, I left him home. I didn't know it was a SOE, honestly, I didn't know. This is about like 9 o'clock in the morning, little about that. By the time I swing Sunday morning when it started in St. Catherine, North. By the time I pass where RGD is, police soldiers pull over the bus. So yeah. When the bus come out, we want to search the bus, and so I said, I'm not taking any illegal search. Came out of the bus. So the officer, so what do you mean? I said, what's no? I said to the person, who is in charge here? Them show me the spec. I go over to the spec. I said, spec, why do you want to search me and my bag? The JCF. I said, no, the JCF. I said, you must have reasonable cause. If you tell me why you want, have you received information that a man looking like me did a crime just down the road? Have you information? And him said, I'm serious about this. The other policeman, there were several of them, about 30 people in the bus will come out. Said to me, I'm serious, I was wearing something, the shirt like this and a jeans, and him say, I observe a bulge on your waist. I'm not making this up. The policeman said he observed a bulge on my waist when I was saying, what's the cause? So, you know, I make up a cause. I saw it go on the road. Then make up a cause.
I'm going to jump in. Miss Judd's serious time in Jamaica, where we're losing lots of Jamaicans. And again, some of us will be inconvenienced.
It's not just inconvenience, you know, Neville. You experience an inconvenience. He is able to argue his way because he's a trained lawyer. Some inconvenience. But the hundreds of young men who go through that kind of treatment every day, many times perhaps in their life, who don't understand, let me relax. Let me not aggravate the policeman, because you may be saving your life. It tells us that there are some rogue policemen out there that need to be reined in. The question is, who reins them in? I mean, I am not saying that in a state of emergency where they have sufficient intelligence that says these gangs are there and they're suspect this and this and this. That's a given. But there must be a space, there is a space under the law for citizens' rights to be respected. There's no other way for me to put that.
But as a human rights activist, the question now is, you said, who is responsible now for bringing in this and making this an important a priority in the crime situation? Is it the commissioner? Who? Is it the activist groups? What do we do?
It has to be everybody.
I want to add quickly that I have no difficulty in saying to the police, go ahead and search, because I, the citizen, can in fact agree to be searched.
Okay.
So I have no difficulty in a situation like this, never, where guns are a rifle on the place. And if the police say to me, Mr. Williams, the morning, or even no one call me Mr. Williams, he says, sir, the government has declared a state of emergency and we're searching all the vehicles and so on, I would have said, go ahead.
Of course, yes.
When I asked him what gives you the right, he was not able to. So all we're asking police officers to do, don't drape me up in my waist.
Yeah.
Does the state of emergency give them the right to do that?
The state of emergency will limit your rights, and it will give them that right to search you without a warrant. Typically, the police will need a warrant for search or reasonable suspicion based on something that all of us said. If we saw it, we'd say yes, yes, yes.
But the state of emergency, they don't
suspends
need that.
those rights of search, the rights to your privacy. What I want to say very clearly here is that all you're asking for is a professional police service.
Right.
So if the police is professional, people won't respond aggressively. I've had experience already where a commercial dispute, man call police and the police come and me know say, me will go halfway tree tonight if me not pay the man. So I'm saying to you, all we're asking for is a professional service. The lost in custody, there is a sub-officer responsible for the lockups. That person must have, it's time that person have some electronic entry of all the persons in custody with access points to the various persons who may be able to access that information. So there's no question about the person being in custody.
I want to know just real quick, because this is very important for those watching right now. What do you do? How does legal aid help? What kind of case do you have if you feel that your rights have been violated by the JCF? What am I to do?
First thing you must do is relax.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
And they know you're right.
Yes. The first thing you must do is relax. If you think your rights are being abused by the police, do not raise your voice. Do not shout. Do not gesticulate and get on bad. Just say, officer, you're abusing my rights. Do not argue with the police. It's pointless. And don't say, you can sue after. When you get the battering, it really makes sense after. So my advice is, if you think your rights are being abused on spot, don't argue with the police. Don't raise a voice on the police. Don't get into a confrontation with the police. Just say to the police, sir, you are abusing me, if that is what is happening.
I don't know, we have to go. I don't know if it still obtains, but I know I heard if you go in, you're allowed a phone call and stuff. That is
Each one of the 200, how many thousands people in detention are allowed a phone call?
I'm asking.
I don't know if that right
I've never
is
had a
waived.
client in the 23 years I've been practicing that have called me and said they receive a call from their son from the police station that he's in custody and that he was to get a lawyer and come. Never.
But
is it allowed though?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, you have, not a phone call necessarily, you have a right to communicate with a family member.
So without a phone call always.
That's the point. But I want to just make the point that it's not just, it's just a wider thing. You have the right to communicate with a family member.
A right.
A right on the Constitution, on the Charter.
Okay.
Because if you don't have the right to communicate, then all of your other rights are going to be...
Stupid question, but suppose I do have a cell phone.
So they take away your
phone. The police must give you a call.
That's what I'm saying.
They must give you a call.
Yes.
Okay.
They must give you a
and
call.
that is a right.
So, yes, you must beg the police if you get arrested. And arrest me, you're not charged, you know, your liberty is taken. And you beg the police for a call. Sir, let me call my father and my mother. Please, do that.
All right.
Looks like we need to keep this going in mass media.
Great to see you.
Blessed love.
Definitely.
Thank
Still
you.
I play some ball too.
You don't know.
And them look miserable same human rights activist who is not miserable, Judith Weatherberg, and attorney at law who is very miserable, Clyde Williams, but is my virgin.
Same stuff.
I'm very disturbed. I don't like this conversation, but it must be had.
Yes, all the way.